That's long-term memory. You could get lost in there.
Think positive.
Okay, I'm positive you will get lost in there.
Firstly, I loved the movie, bawled my eyes out, as I usually do in Pixar movies. How did you feel when you saw the film for the first time?
I was amazed when I saw the film for the first time. You know, with animation, you kind of do your part and then you give it back to the filmmakers and then they just put it through the magic machine, really. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it was so beautiful.
The colours and everything, the animation, it's all quite perfect.
Yeah, and I think the story is so deep because at first you're just laughing at a kind of a workplace comedy, and but the fact that Pixar made the setting an 11-year-old girl's mind and the emotions that live there, and that the story is a very simple story about, you know, it's okay to be sad.
Yep.
It's really profound.
Yep. I also wanted to ask what impressed or fascinated you the most about how the film depicts the world inside our heads?
Well, what I loved was how Pixar started to decide what things were called and made. So they would just create worlds and say, this is what your long-term memory looks like. This is what when you remember something, this is what happens. You know, like it started to just like visualize these high concept ideas and make everything feel very really new and fresh, but also strangely familiar, which is what they do so well. I was impressed by all of it. The performances, the music, the story, and Pete Docter, who's the director and writer of the film, he's just a genius. He just has this authenticity that comes out as you watch the film.
Yep. And in the film, Riley has the 5 islands of her mind that represent the 5 most important things to her at that time. So what would your islands be?
In the film, her memories kind of power these islands. So I think one of the things that's nice about the film is that it reminds you that your islands change all the time. The things that are the most important things to you at 11 are maybe not the same at 43, but some things stay the same. Family, friends. Riley has Goofball Island, which may still exist in my repertoire. Yeah. I think I would maybe have more than 5 at this point, but let's see, what would be another one? Well, right now, it's Australia is Australia is an actual island that is in my islands of personality right now.
And you tend to portray positive characters, so how do you personally relate to Joy's optimism?
Well, you know, what's nice about the film and playing Joy is that the character goes through an arc, so she herself feels all of the feelings, just like Riley does. If she was just one-dimensional and always playing joyful, she'd almost be like a sociopath, you know? What I love about playing her is that she's an engine, and she's kind of constantly keeping things moving, and she requires a lot of energy. And she's just vulnerable like everyone else. Even though she's an emotion, her character has these blind spots, and she's tone deaf about how she comes across sometimes, just like we all are.
And also in your book, Yes Please, you say great people do things before they are ready. So aside from writing your book, what would you say is the bravest thing you've done, whether it's personally or professionally?
Well, it's kind of hard to talk about the brave stuff you've done. I'm gonna leave that up to someone else.
Yep.
Because that is front door bragging.
Yeah.
It's not even back door bragging.
Yep.
But I'll say this, that I think that vulnerability is a brave thing. That's why I love this film, because I think what Pixar decided to do was instead of doing a film all about the external, whether it be, you know, chasing the dragon or getting the jewel or, you know, the world is going to end, they decided to do something very brave, which is to kind of go inside the mind, a place that we live in all day but we never see. So creatively, I'm kind of in awe of that, and so I try to use that to inspire me.
Yep.
And I also jumped off the bridge, the Sydney Bridge today too.
Oh,
I bungee jumped this morning.
That is very brave.
That's just like, I do that. I jump off the bridge, I get my coffee, I read the paper.
That's amazing. I hadn't read that this morning yet, but...
I didn't want to brag. Again, I'm not here to brag. It's not a big deal. I bungee jumped off the bridge. But like, I don't consider that brave, because, you know, that's like, I'm an adrenaline junkie, and that's the only way I can really feel alive.